Okay, you blokes, and Michelle, I've made a couple of changes since this afternoon at the rehearsal in the interests of all participants in this debate. Most of them anyway, but the rules are the same. First, no smart-ass questions. This is a serious debate with me. And second, go easy on Andrew.
Don't worry, I can keep my end up.
That's not what I've heard. Just don't let him go on too long.
Mr. Hawke, as a confessed agnostic, how does it feel to be a deity?
Well, look, Ralph, if you're looking for a job at the lodge, son, you better get in the queue. Seriously, as a realist, you have to balance, on the one hand, what you believe because you can see it and feel it and know it's there, with, on the other hand, what might be there, although there's no tangible presence. I mean, there are some things that you can just about believe in if you close your eyes and concentrate very hard. Take my opponent. Take Andrew, for instance. See you there, Andrew?
Well, I must be. I can still hear you talking about yourself.
Well, that's a bloody sight more interesting than
ask me about the issues.
Mr. Peacock, aren't you wasting your time and ours?
Well, look, I'm not going into personality. I've never gone into personality, and I never will. Look, the issues, and they're very important, are these. They're very, very fundamental. There are literally dozens of senior Australians whose assets might include no more than a few houses, or just the odd block of flats, or maybe a Picasso, or perhaps some rare stamps.
Mr. Hawke.
Look, if we're going to do this together, we're going to have to do it one at a bloody time. Okay, fire away, Michelle. Ladies first.
How does a notorious bedroom bandicoot become a man of unimpeachable integrity? Overnight, as it were.
By sacking his girlfriends and rehiring his wife.
You keep my family out of
The way you used to.
this. Didn't you have a question there, Ralph?
Mr. Hawke, your popularity is astounding.
Thank you, Ralph. I think that should just about answer your question, Michelle. Next question.
In many parts of the country, particularly Queensland, Western Australia, and part of the historical profession, there seems to be a very high level of racial prejudice. What is your response?
Well, let me just say this in respect of racism, Ralph. First, I detest it. Second, I hate it. Third, I loathe it, and I despise it.
Well, look, this is typical of the pompous parrotings of this panjandrum of populism, who's poised to hate something more than I do first, so that I can never hate it as much later.
That I once used to call you friend.
Did you?
Yeah, when it was necessary.
Michael Hodgman reckoned that Asian immigration was good for 12 seats.
Look, Michael Hodgman is not responsible for our policy.
Yes, he is.
Well, yes, of course he is. Well, look, I'm not going to go over that again. I don't know. I mean, that is, we're a democratic party and there's room for all opinions in all our policies.
Ask him about the National Party.
Look, the media has tried to distort with its cheap headlines. That is, the National Party will not block supply under a Liberal government. And furthermore...
What are you going to do after the election, mate?
I've said it before and I'll say it again.
OK, fellas, that's it. I've got a bit on my plate. Those of you who've lost my autograph or want one for the nieces and nephews at Christmas, form a queue, will you? And does anyone else need a job after the election, apart from Andrew?
Oh, very funny.